So yeah, thank you very much for joining us in the Lotus Hall and to those who are at home through YouTube. And we're here, hopefully, well for me, I'm here about deepening spiritual friendship and connection to the truth, to the heart of the Buddha's teaching. And this has been an opportunity to work with inspiration and connect with an open mind and an open heart. And I hope you have a sense of that over these 4 weeks. And really by turning up, you're already part of this. You're hopefully gaining a wider sense of the world. And this awareness, this awareness of reality, of shunyata, infinite space, infinite awe, beauty, and our limitless potential. And there's like, it's completely impossible to tell you how many conditions come together to make this happen. But I have to mention Dharma Karunya. So hopefully you heard her talk at the beginning of March. It was her inspiration that started this theme, and she gathered together the team to make this possible. So it started months ago. She was here week 1. She had then Tara Lochner come and talk week 2. And last week we heard Sakyamuni. And today we're going to hear from Suryasraddha. And such rich and deep talks, really encourage you to go back to YouTube and re-engage with them, because there's a lot of reflection and opportunities in there. And as well as Dharma Karunya, many hands make light work. So it's an absolute huge task to put on 4 weeks of events. We've got a fabulous Sangha. And people come every week, people come as and when they can, setting up the room, being on reception, meeting and greeting and being in the kitchen, and creating these fantastic shrines every week. This room comes into being and then dissolves at the end of the day, and it's just a really amazing practice. There's experiences of rich communication, it's dedication, joy, and beauty. We've also got a tech team. Hopefully that's really obvious if you're watching at home. But without all of these people, without all of these Sangha members, including you being here, including watching, this just wouldn't be possible. So all of these aspects of coming together as spiritual friends, they're all practices of dharana. So these events are freely offered, and we want everyone to take part and come, however that is taking part. And of course, we're in this fabulous building right now. And it couldn't happen. We couldn't do this without you being here. We couldn't do this without people coming and participating. And also, we do need financial support. So if you are able to, we would really appreciate donations online, donations through reception. And if you want to contribute in any other way, do email us, do go on the website and get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. And so to another collective practice, a way to hopefully connect with our deepest inspiration, our aspirations, our inspiration, to remind ourselves why we're here, because of the Buddha sharing the teachings and sharing the truth and his experiences. So yes, I'd like to invite you to stand up and join in as we, in call and response, salute the 3 jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Namo Dhammaya. Namo Sanghaya. Namo Namah. Om. Ah. Hung. So yeah, as I've said, we're here today to really listen to Suryasraddha, and hopefully you all remember that we're here to listen and to go on a journey with Pandaravasini. And yeah, it's just really delightful to have Suryasraddha here. I've been in connection with her many times over the year. And a particular experience that stands out to me is when we were on retreat together and we shared a room. And she was extremely thoughtful and caring. And yeah, somehow, even though we were in silence that weekend, we really connected. And it just has a long and deep experience that I carry with me. And she also has a very strong and deep connection with Amitabha. The figure here holding up the lotus flower is Amitabha, and Pandaravasini is the female counterpart to Amitabha. I just want to mention that her name, Suryasraddha, means she whose faith is like the sun. And I think that's something that really shines through with this connection of these figures. And today she's going to take us on this adventure that she's been in this world of transcendental discovery. So thank you very much for joining us and yeah, being part of these sessions and leading us today.
Microphone on. Yeah, good. So, if it's, I was going to say if it's okay, but actually I'm going to do it anyway. I'd like us to start with a meditation. So, if you can get yourself into whatever posture you can feel comfortable yet alert. And I'll be expecting us to meditate for about 20 minutes. So just get everything you need. We'll just start by maybe taking a few deep breaths. You may or may not want to close your eyes, but we're going to just try and take your attention. Just let go of any conversations that you might have been having or things that you've been doing or tram journeys here or stuff that you might have to do at home. Just let all these things go. Just for this period, for this couple of hours. As you're breathing out, just have a sense of your body sinking into the floor, cushions or the chair, wherever you're contacting the ground. You don't actually have to work very hard to sit up. Your body does actually know what to do. You can Just allow yourself to be held by the earth, which is strong. It's strong. Its gravity will hold you. So now, I'd like you just to imagine you're somewhere else, actually. You've been walking along a hot and dusty road in India. It's evening time. The sun is setting. The sky is turning beautiful, burnished, red, golden colours. There's still some heat left in the sun. You're walking directly towards it. There's a stream of golden light from the sun. It feels like that is the path before you, drawing you forward. So you're being drawn forward. But it's been a hot and dusty day. You've been walking all day. So you are feeling quite sticky and uncomfortable. But as you walk further on, you suddenly find yourself in a garden. There's grass under your feet. Then you see a beautiful lily pond. Beautiful clear pond with bright red open lotuses, fully open. It just looks so inviting. As you're feeling so hot and dusty. So you slip into the pond to bathe. There's a sensation of the pure, clear, clean water cleansing your skin. And it actually feels delicious. You feel completely surrounded, completely safe, and completely cleansed. So your body cools down with the effect of the water, becomes much more comfortable temperature. And you're just enjoying that sensation, being completely safe and cleansed, purified. And just as you can feel the temperature of your body just starting to dip to a slightly uncomfortable level, you come out of the pond, back into the warm, golden evening sunlight. And you're wrapped in a perfectly white, clean sheet. So this is a different sensation on your skin. The coolness of the wet robe makes you aware of the warmth in your body and the warmth of the evening sun. You're aware of the sensation of water evaporating, dispersing into the atmosphere around you. So we're just sitting. Wrapped in this pure white sheet or towel. Perfectly comfortable. Enjoying the sensation of the evening sun on our face. Gently drying. So we're completely enveloped in this robe. We're safe. We feel safe and comfortable. And content. get distracted, just come back to that sensation of the wet, pure white robe on your body. The sensation of the moisture evaporating. Because of the heat of your body. In a moment, I'm going to ring the bell to sign the end of the meditation. So just like you, as the bells ring, I'll ring it 3 times. Just allow any images or sensations just to fade away. Maybe just as the last bell fades away, before you open your eyes, just maybe bring into your mind a picture of the room where you are now. Is that okay? Good. So, Pandaravasini. Why Pandaravasini? And I'm aware that there might be a few of you that don't know much about her, possibly have never even heard of her. But I know there will be quite a few of you in this room and probably on YouTube as well that know more about it than I do. So what's drawn me to be in this position, standing here in front of you and in front of Pandaravasini? As Louise said, I have for many years meditated on Amitabha, who's noted in the Buddha Rupa here. So, and I've kind of known about Pandaravasini, but to be honest, I think I've been a bit kind of like, maybe, I don't know, I haven't really wanted to look at her. There's been something about, you know, she's often described as his consort with that, and it's being sort of tantric Buddhism, and there tends to be depicted in sexual union. There's something that's made me sort of want to turn away a bit, really, as if I'm like, oh, no, that's not my sort of thing. But, and also there's that word consort, because I think there's something about why is she just described in relation to a man? Well, essentially, well, you know, to a male. But then I suppose I did think, but you could actually, what if you said that Amitabha is a consort of Pandaravasini? And I was like, you could say that equally. And certainly, as I've been over the last couple of months, really reading and reflecting and sort of meditating, and I've realised, well, Pandaravasini, yes, she's much more than a consort. I mean, she's not even a goddess. She's a female Buddha. She's absolutely equal to Amitabha. She's not opposite, but she's slightly different, but completely equal. And in fact, I suppose a lot of you will probably be aware. We talk about the mandala of 5 Buddhas, one for each of the north, south, east, and west, and one in the middle. But actually, according to Tantric Buddhism, really it should be a mandala of 10 Buddhas, because at each position there's a female and a male Buddha. As I say, they're both equally important. Just kind of slightly different flavours, I guess, in the way they describe enlightenment, the experience of what it's like to be an awakened being. It's kind of, which is kind of beyond all imagining, really. The best we can do is sort of come up with sort of similars. So having said that, and I am a person of sort of like extremes, it can be. So I was kind of like, well, so Pandaravasini, she's more than, you know, she's not just a consort. She's this Buddha figure, and the male, as I say, there are each points there's a male and a female Buddha. The male Buddha is associated with the compassion side of enlightenment. The female with the wisdom side. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she's not a sexy consort. She's like a wise old Buddha. So then I could have, and she's called the white-robed one as well. So I could have this image of sort of a slightly wizened old lady with, you know, maybe the hooked nose, but a very wrinkly face and just a very knowing expression. You know, she's very, but that's not Pandaravasini either. Pandaravasini is red. She's blood red, and she's made of fire. She's a full-bodied woman. She has the long, dark hair over her shoulders. To say she's passionate, and I really love that. She's really alive. She's vital. So, and in Tantric Buddhism, the colour red is associated with the rite of fascination. So that's it. Pandaravasini does fascinate us. Well, she fascinates me, but she wants us to fall in love. But it's not to fall in love with her, it's to fall in love with the Dharma. But I always think this sort of rite of fascination is also kind of associated with her wisdom, her particular style of wisdom, as it were, is the differentiating wisdom. So she sees all the detail, all the differences in all beings, and loves them. Whatever so, because I know in myself, it's very easy to love somebody that's got the same views as me, that sort of, looks similar, that likes the same things as I do. But what about the people that have completely different lifestyles to me, different ethnicities, different religions, different views? You might have views that I really find difficult. Pandaravasini sort of like challenges me. She's really like challenged me to love everybody. I think Pandaravasini loves all beings, not despite their differences, but because of them. As I say, I find that a real challenge, exciting, but a real challenge, in my life. But I think the rite of fascination is kind of connected with that as well, because I think, that's part of having a curiosity about life and other beings and being open to it. And it's kind of like, so her experience is transcendental. It's beyond what I can really experience. But maybe can we get little tastes of it in our life? And I think we can. So I was on a retreat last year. I think it was a at-home online one on the Pure Land Buddha. So I was meditating a lot on Amitabha, and we were talking about compassion and loving kindness and all that. So I was obviously feeling quite open. I was going for a walk just in the streets, just where I live in Chorlton, as a little walk, and I noticed a man, a youngish man, with a little dog on a lead, and the dog was sort of sniffing around, and the man was just waiting. And I looked, and I thought, the dog, and it wasn't doing a sort of, I'm about to have a poo, sort of, as if I'm a vet, I know about these things. It was a kind of like, oh, there's really good doggy smells here. This is really, you could really see the dog was like, it was really experiencing this sort of universe I couldn't quite, we can't quite imagine, but the dog was really engrossed in that. It was really kind of, and the young man on the end of the lead, I noticed he wasn't on his phone. He wasn't sort of looking annoyed or impatient. He was just quietly waiting, just letting his dog do doggy things and enjoy itself. And I just thought, that's a kindness. I thought, he's being kind, and obviously he loves his pet and he's just been kind to another being. And I was really moved by it. And I think I'm still moved, even just, telling the story. So I think, there's something about Pandaravasini that I feel is encouraging me to be fascinated with and in love with the world. And maybe, in little small, if I keep my eyes open and can keep my awareness open and heart open, maybe there are some little incidences like that, just in the mundane world, that I can take advantage of. But that sounds a bit transactional. But I'll stop worrying at that point, because I'll just start going on unraveling. So I had in my head this 7 points that I wanted to make sure I got across. I'm going in order so far, but let me just take a little moment. So we have her differentiating wisdom. So the poison that Pandaravasini is associated with, that being sort of the mindset that we're all, as a living beings, we're all subject to. It's not our choice. But we are subject to some of these negative states. And the one associated with Pandaravasini is craving. So I think, that's kind of interesting, because there she is. She's, when I look at her, or I think of her in my mind's eye, she's like red, she's sort of burning up, and I think she's burning with craving, really. She's not trying to sort of suppress it, pretend it's not there. She's kind of sort of, embracing it, because she's full of love. She's full of love for the world. She's full of desire for all beings to be free from suffering. So, but, how does she react to that? She's called the white-robed one. She's sitting there in meditation. She's sitting there in stillness, simplicity, and contentment. She knows, while she can still have this desire for well-being of all beings, but she's aware at the same time that what she has at this moment is enough. And again, I find that very inspiring as well. And also the whiteness of the robe, as I say, because it is associated with the fourth stage of meditation, when you've been meditating for a while and you've got quite sort of deep, but you're so full of love and positive emotion that it can't help but radiate out into the world. That's the idea. So that white robe is a sort of representation of that stage. But also the whiteness, I think, symbolises purity and purification. So, but it's not like somebody from outside is coming in and purifying Pandaravasini. So it's her energy. She's kind of like, with her energy, she's transforming her craving into something transcendental. So I feel anyway, it's like the water being evaporated from the robe. It's being transformed, but it's the energy, Pandaravasini, doing it. So maybe in a small way, we can transform our energies and passion into something skillful. So I'll just give you a little example, because I've been doing a lot of, in the past few weeks, obviously a lot of thinking about Pandaravasini a lot and reflecting on her and meditating on her. I tend to think about her when I'm walking a lot. So a couple of weeks ago I was walking, I was thinking about this passion and sort of inspiration, and I was thinking, I felt like my practice was just felt a bit sort of stale, and I felt a bit kind of like, what's giving me passion? What's lighting me up at the moment? There must be something, I was thinking. So I was thinking, actually, I go to a sign language course once a week on a Friday, doing level 2 at the Buddhist centre, at the Deaf Centre. And I really enjoy that. And I go there, so I quite look forward to it. And I go there and I think, I can enjoy just being in communication with people. There's other people who are sort of learning. I can feel I'm getting a little bit better each time, and I enjoy communicating with the teacher, and hopefully I'm making sort of progress. And again, in between, I am supposed to do, various homeworks, like, watch videos online and stuff like that. But it all just feels a bit more dry, and I watch the videos and I think, I'm not as good as I thought I was. And it's kind of like, just all a bit more sort of hard work. Now, as I was on this walk, I was thinking about Pandaravasini, and inspiration. I was thinking, well, transfer it into something active, and when you get home from this, because you've got a bit of time, watch one of these homework videos. So I was like, okay. So I got home and I'm thinking, I'd like to Pandaravasini, and I put the kettle on to make a cup of tea, and then I just automatically went to put the radio on, because that's sort of what I do, and then I'll get the iPad out, which obviously I need to watch the video, but I'll get distracted by something, or like play a game of solitaire or something, and then just sort of thought, which will turn into anyway, and I could just suddenly see this behaviour pattern kind of beginning to go round. But I had this image of Pandaravasini sitting there in a white robe, meditating, and I just thought, yeah, I've got to be mindful. I've got to be mindful, and it's okay. Yeah, so I did. So I didn't switch the radio on, and I took the cup of tea and the iPad through to the front room where there's no radio, and I watched a sign language video, and I really enjoyed it, and I really noticed that I had done it when I went to the class, and I thought, yeah, I've got a sense of satisfaction. But I guess what I've kind of learned from that is that, it's great. It's really great to have all these burning inspirations and aspirations, like I do, like, obviously I'm going to get really good at sign language, be able to communicate with my brother and with deaf people, and I've got this vision of myself going around the country, or at least being on the internet, delivering a dharma in sign language, and I'm like, wouldn't this be wonderful? But but still, it's like that's really great, but still I've still got to do my homework. I've got to be mindful, as I say, and just do my homework. Which with the white robe makes me think of. So that probably brings me to the end of what I was going to say in this part, but. I would like you now to do a bit of reflection yourself, and just to think in your own life about, where your inspirations and passions are, what kind of lights you up and gets you going, isn't too much of an effort to sort of get going. And then you could possibly think, you might already be doing it, transforming that into something skillful, but you could think about whether you are, and maybe if not, how you possibly could. So it's kind of like, that's my challenge from Pandaravasini to you. So I'll give you 15 minutes to just have a think about that. Okay. just wanted to say another few words just before we go into our break. Just because I haven't said anything about Pandaravasini's mudra or hand position, hand gesture. But this hand gesture is called the Anjali or devotion mudra. So I think it feels, so she is devoted, but what is she devoted to? Well, it's not a person, it's not even a Buddha, it's the Dharma. So I think it just feels appropriate that we're just going to have a bit of a leg stretch and maybe come back and do a simple puja, which is about, just us just getting in, demonstrating perhaps some our feelings of devotion to the three duals and the Dharma. But having said that, you don't have to take it too pious. I wouldn't want anyone to feel you have to be terribly pious or take it too seriously. I think, I know my relationship with puja changed when I realised that I could approach it in a playful manner and with a sort of open heart, a bit like a child, just for fun. So it can be the two things. Anyway, you know the score. You can, if you'd like to, come back to join us or just to listen, then that's fine. And then afterwards, when that's finished, we'll be doing the usual of putting chairs and mats back in silence. And then we can go downstairs for some tea, and I believe there's some lovely cake as well. So that would be fantastic if you would want to come and join us and have a little chat. And I know, for one, I'd love to hear any reflections or thoughts, questions about Pandaravasini, so do come and grab me. And those of you online also, if you're having any thoughts, reflections, or I'm just interested to hear about it, and I'm sure our paths will cross in a not too distant future. So look out for me and just grab my attention. Anyway, see you back here in 5 minutes. Sorry, Zoom people. Then we shall have the entreaty and supplication, and then we'll be going on to the transference of merits and self-surrender, and onwards to tea and cake. Anyway, we'll just sit quietly for a few minutes, and then Shraddha Vijaya, when you're ready, you can take us into the realm of Pandaravasini.
Her body is brilliant red in colour, and she sits in the Vajra posture. She is wearing exquisite clothing, of which at least the upper garment is pure white. She is adorned with rubies and other precious things. Her hands are at her heart in the Anjali mudra. They hold the stems of 2 lotuses that blossom at her shoulders. At her right shoulder is a red lotus on which, on a moon mat, is a vase of immortality. At her left shoulder is a pale blue lotus on which, on a moon mat, is a Vajra bell. On her head is a 5-jeweled crown. She has long black hair, some of which is bound up in a top knot, the rest flowing over her shoulders. In front of her top knot sits the deep red Buddha Amitabha. He's seated in the Vajra posture. His right hand holds up a red lotus. His left rests in his lap, holding a setting sun. Pandaravasini's head and body are surrounded by auras of light. She's very beautiful, smiling at you with infinite loving kindness.
Sevenfold puja. Firstly, worship. With Mandava, blue lotus and jasmine.
With Mandava, blue lotus and jasmine.
With all flowers pleasing and fragrant.
With all flowers pleasing and fragrant.
And with garlands skillfully woven.
And with garlands skillfully woven.
I pay honour to the Prince of the Sages.
I pay honour to the Princess of the Sages.
So worthy of veneration.
So worthy of veneration.
I envelop them in clouds of incense.
I envelop them in clouds of incense.
Sweet and penetrating.
Sweet and penetrating.
I make them offerings of food, hard and soft.
I make them offerings of food, hard and soft.
And pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
And pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels.
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels.
Festooned with golden lotus.
Festooned with golden lotus.
On the paving sprinkled with perfume.
On the paving sprinkled with perfume.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers.
Sabe sata sukhi hontu. Sabe sata sukhi hontu. Sabe sata sukhi hontu. Sabe sata sukhi hontu.
Salutation. As many atoms as there are. In the 1,000 million worlds. So many times I make reverent salutation. To all the Buddhas of the 3 eras. To the Siddharma. And to the excellent community. I pay homage to all the shrines. And places in which the Bodhisattvas have been. I make profound obeisance to the teachers. And those to whom respectful salutation is due. Going for refuge. This very day, I go for my refuge. To the powerful protectors, whose purpose is to guard the universe. The mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere. Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge. In the Dharma they have ascertained. Which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth. Likewise in the host of Bodhisattvas. I take my refuge. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dachyami buddhang saranang gacchami. Dachyami dhammang saranang gacchami. Dachyami sanghang saranang gacchami. Dachyami buddhang saranang gacchami. Dachyami dhammang saranang gacchami. Dachyami sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata velamini sikapadang samadhyami. Adinadana velamini sikapadang samadhyami. Adesu mechachara velamini sikapadang samadhyami. Musavada velamini sikapadang samadhyami. Suramaya Maja Ama deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind. Confession of faults. O Queen of Compassion, going for refuge to you, bathed in your warm red light, I become aware of all my faults and failings, of a past filled with craving, aversion, and stupidity. Looking back at my life, I see that all too often I didn't care. I didn't give. I didn't try. I didn't help. I didn't say. I didn't love. I didn't forgive. I didn't empathize. I didn't think of the consequences. All too often, without intending it, I was part of Mara's forces. Please forgive me. And help me. So that all my negativities fall as flowers at your feet. Knowing that you will always love. May I find it in my heart. To forgive myself. May I find it in my heart. To make amends. To those I have hurt. Or left uncared for. May I find it in my heart. To plunge into the flames of compassion and be free from the ashes of my failings. May I be reborn on wings of light. Rejoicing in merit. I rejoice with delight. In the good done by all beings. Through which they obtain rest. With the end of suffering. May those who have suffered be happy. I rejoice in the release of beings. From the sufferings of the rounds of existence. I rejoice in the nature of the Bodhisattva. and the Buddha, who are protectors. I rejoice in the arising of the will to enlightenment. And the teaching. Those oceans that bring happiness to all beings. And are the abode of welfare of all beings. Entreaty and supplication. Saluting them with folded hands. I entreat the Buddhas in all the quarters. May they make shine the lamp of the Dharma. For those wandering in the suffering of delusion. With hands folded in reverence. I implore the conquerors desiring to enter nirvana. May they remain here for endless ages. So that life in this world does not grow dark. Transference of merit and self-surrender. May the merit gained in my acting thus go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings. My personality throughout my existences. My possessions. And my merit in all three ways. I give up without regard to myself. For the benefit of all beings. Just as the earth and other elements are serviceable in many ways to the infinite number of beings inhabiting limitless space. So may I become that which maintains all beings, situated throughout space, so long as all have not attained to peace.